Hello Stampers! I've got a fall card for you today using a new Welcoming Wood stamp set from Stampin' Up. You can find it in the new mini catalog, the July through December holiday catalog is what I call it because it mainly has all holiday stamps in it. And this is the Welcoming Wood stamp set. This will carry you through fall and winter because it has both snowflakes and leaves and these great trees and all these different sentiments. We'll also be using the Parisian Flourish 3D embossing folder. This is my favorite embossing folder, so we'll be using that too. Are you ready to get started? Let's make this scene. So we're going to start with our main panel. Oh, and I meant to mention this is also a gatefold card, and when you open it up it also has that foil inside. Pretty, right? So we're going to start out with a basic white piece of cardstock, 3.5 by 4, and we're going to use something different to make this background here for our trees, and every household has it. It's saran wrap. So you'll just grab you a piece of saran wrap and you're going to wad it up, kind of wad it up loose. You don't want it real tight. So that's going to be our main tool for this. So we're going to start out with our background and So Saffron ink, and we're also going to need a moon shape for this. So I have went ahead and die cut a 1.5 inch circle out of the sticky portion of a double layer of post-it notes, and we're going to add that to the top right of our panel here, and then we're going to use this like we would a sponge. We're going to pounce it in our ink and then pounce it on our cardstock. So that's how we're going to get our color, and we're going to do this all over our panel, and it makes this great texture. So we're going to put this So Saffron all over the panel. That's going to be kind of like our base coat, and it gives the rest of our colors a wonderful glow, that warm yellow. Okay, so we're done with that color. So next we're going to use pumpkin pie. And we're going to do pumpkin pie over, let's see, 3/4 of our panel, I'm going to say. And I'm going to take this piece of saran wrap and I'm going to undo it some, and I'm going to wad it up in a different way when I change colors. So we're going to start with this, and we're going to put this pumpkin pie all over the top 3/4 of the panel. Actually, I'm going to say it's over 2/3. Yeah, as I like to leave quite a bit of that yellow at the bottom. So there's our pumpkin pie. And our next color, we're going to go for purple in our gorgeous grape. So I'm going to unwad my plastic wrap again, wad it up in a different way, and we're going to do this gorgeous grape. We're going to cover almost all of that pumpkin pie except for like a 1/2 inch towards the bottom. It makes such a pretty background. You can get darker in areas. All right, so there's our top of our panel. And we need some grass for our trees to be based in. So again, I'm going to unwad my saran wrap here and wad it back up a different way. We're going to use Old Olive along the bottom of this panel. I love how it looks like it makes like tall grass. Just the texture of that. Looks like you've put a lot of work into that, but really you haven't. Okay, that was Old Olive. Okay, so take your Post-it note off, and we're going to pounce some So Saffron in there. We're going to unwad our plastic, wad it back up, and I like to kind of use it and smush it around in the sun shape. So that was So Saffron. Now we can put our plastic wrap up, get our tree stamp set out, and some early espresso. We'll load it up really well. And we're going to stamp this so that the trees are come to the top of the cardstock here. See if we can get them all lined up straight. Nice firm pressure. Okay, there's our trees. Aren't they beautiful? Such a great image. And we have trees that are kind of light here where that sun is behind them. We're just going to take a soft suede marker, the dark soft suede, and use the brush in, and you can kind of brush over those trees a bit, and you can bring down that glow that's shining through those trees. So there is that. And now we're ready for some leaves. And I'm going to stamp the leaves in cinnamon cider. I love this warm orangey brown. And I'm not really lining the leaves up. I'm just kind of seeing if I can hit them over some of the branches. So they kind of look like they're attached to something. You do them different ways. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp just a few down here in the grassy area, like they're just laying on the ground, like they've just fallen out of those trees. So there is our main panel. Woohoo! Okay. And now we're going to stamp our sentiment, and we're going to stamp that in Gorgeous Grape on a little piece of Smoky Slate cardstock. And this is, I'm going to say, a little over a ½ inch wide. There's our sentiment stamped. Then we're going to take a pair of paper snips, and I'm just going to snip them straight across on this side. Snip it on this side to cut our little sentiment piece out. And we're going to adhere it to the panel. I'm going to use my multi-purpose glue for this. There's our sentiment piece. All right, so now we're going to put a panel behind this, a Smoky Slate panel. and this is 3 5/8 by 4 1/8. And by the way, all the measurements for the panels are listed below this video. Just click show more under the description and you'll see all that list plus the links for all the products. I'm going to add this on here. Kind of fumbly today. I think I've had too much tea, too much caffeine. Or is there such a thing? What do you think? Okay, so that's our main panel all finished. So now we're ready for to build our gatefold card here. So I'm going to bring out my card base. This card base is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and we're going to use our Simply Scored tool. Bring it over, and we're going to score this piece at 2 1/8 on each side. So I'm going to score it here, and I'm going to flip it around. Whoop, just lost my little marker. And we're going to score it at 2 1/8 on this side, and that makes our little gate. So then we'll fold these in, right? And there's our gatefold card. I think that it's just such a great little format. So easy. All right. And I just use a bone folder, kind of help out with those creases. Okay, and on the inside we're going to put a Smoky Slate panel that's 4 by 5.25. Like some folds, this is a nice one because you have your whole inside that you can write on instead of just a part of one. If you've seen some of the fancy folds, you can only write on part of the inside. But this one you can write on the whole thing because it's all covered when it's closed. So that's the inside, middle. And I've taken some of the new silver foils. I think they should be called silver purple floral foils because they have a couple of them have like a purpley tint to them, and this is one of them. This is so beautiful. But I've taken strips of this. The strips are 1 7/8 by 5.25, and you need 4 of them per card. And I used them. I embossed 2 of them at a time by putting them in the embossing folder, and this embossing folder is the Parisian Flourish. So I put them in, ran them through my Stampin' Up cut and emboss machine. So I did that to all 4, and now we're going to adhere them to 1 on each inside and 1 on each on the outside. And I like to use for these are kind of heavy, and with all that texture in there on the back, I like to use the Stampin' Seal Plus for this. So I'm just gonna run it down each side. Start putting them on the outside. Just want to kind of center it on each panel. I'm telling you, it's gorgeous in real life. One thing about this, I found that if you run off the edge, just kind of flip it back over to the back. And when you see it, and that helps it from being sticky outside of where you want it to be. Boy, this stuff is like really super sticky. I don't believe it's coming off anytime soon. Okay, there's our front, and then we're going to do the same thing on the paint on the doors on the inside. Okay, now I want to put a piece of ribbon on this card, and so I'm going to grab my ribbon here, and this is the shimmer ribbon in gray granite, and it goes so well with this foil. So I'm going to bring it around, and we're going to adhere it here in front, our little ends to this. So I'm bringing it around just this one door on the left. Get it where I want it. And I'm going to use mini glue dots to adhere the ends down. Oop, I've let go of it. There we go. And now we're ready for our main panel. And I'm going to pop this up, and I'm just going to put dimensionals on the back of the left side. So when I flip it over, it'll be the back of the right side here. Kind of leaving a space so that ribbon can come through the middle. All right. And I'm not going to center this up and down ways. I'm just going to center it going right to left, and I'm bringing it down to the bottom some. There we go. And then I want an additional piece of ribbon to tie at the top. I'll just slide it under this one here. I'm going to tie it in a knot. I tell you, this gray granite shimmery ribbon is beautiful. Trim our ends to a little point here. And there's our card. So that's our card for today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and it inspires you to get inky. And thank you for joining me. Bye.